Right, you ready?
No.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god!
You can shout out for the rabbits.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Lido.
Yeah.
And the water bottles.
And the water bottles.
The hot ones.
Is this recording? Yeah. Right, so this is episode 2 of Podding Along, and today I'm with Rosie, who runs Grease for Good.
Grease for Good is a charity/event company, and we put on parties and then wellness activities to bring everyone back up after or before the parties. We started it because we lost a friend and we wanted to provide a space in which people can feel okay the next day.
We did an event now.
Did a great event.
Yeah, music was amazing. Your brother DJ'd and it was just so good. And then, got everyone down for a swim, which is what we've just done. How did you find the swim just now?
I'm a bit hungover. Shot. And I'm not, this sounds like, oh my god, I actually feel so much better. I wasn't really into it at all. And then I am now into it because I kind of have to be. Like, I'm not a lover of wellness. But I understand and I appreciate that you do need to do stuff like this.
Do you think it's becoming something that younger people are more interested in?
Well, I think it's becoming more normalised. 5 years ago, I'd view wellness as like an annoying person wearing full sweaty Betty doing yoga. And I'm sorry, and I love that. But that, I would kind of like fear that I would become that or be judged by the fact that I didn't look or wear the right things. And now I feel like it's way more of an inclusive space, and it's actually brought kind of weird people together that need to feel good. I think also cold water swimming, I was like, that's an old man's thing.
Yeah.
No offense.
No.
Well, it's not. So these young people that are like,
Yeah.
Cold water.
So many people who message me, who want to join, they say, oh, I can't believe that this exists because I've just been doing this by myself for 5 years or whatever.
I think that people are just a bit more unhappy nowadays, and they have more things to be unhappy about. And I feel like young people just need to find a space in which they can feel better.
I mean, we were going to talk about drugs and sort of culture of drugs.
Yeah.
Around that, and alcohol as well, there's a bit of a sort of escapism, and that's one way of dealing with just feeling a bit decentered as a person, whereas the other way maybe is doing these more kind of wellnessy type things. I don't know what you think.
I think there's an easy way, not an easy way out, but there's take the pills, do the fries, whatever. Drink, and it's I'm gonna feel something, I'm gonna feel better, and that's one half of Grease for Good, right? The party side. The actual hardest part of wellness and Grease for Good is getting up and jumping in the cold water, going for a walk. That's actually what makes you feel better.
Yeah, seeing people, right?
Seeing people and connection.
Yeah.
But the easy way out is just the quick thing that you do on a night out. Don't rule out wellness. I think it's something that we should not be scared of.
Yeah, I think it's actually all about balance, because the one thing I don't like about wellness stuff and why I just find it sometimes a bit icky is it often feels quite puritanical. And I think this is what happens to a lot of people, and this is just me theorizing, is that maybe in your 20s and 30s, you kind of push the envelope really hard, you go off the rails or whatever, and then you're like, oh man, I can't do this anymore.
Or when you're 14 from the UK, completely off.
Exactly, and then you sort of find wellness and you kind of go from one extreme to the other. Yeah. And for some people that's totally great, necessary, whatever, that's the thing to do. But it feels to me like what people are doing a bit more now is finding a bit more balance where, and this has always been my thing, because at the end of the day, it's all just about having fun. I just want to have fun in as many different ways as possible. And I have a lot of fun going out, having a lot of drinks, that's always going to be part of it. But then I have a lot of fun going and meeting a bunch of people for a walk or for a swim, and that's what it's all about, I think.
It's so right. And London actually right now, or a lot of places in the world, be a bit depressing. It can be a bit depressing, and I can't feel going out on a night out in London is sometimes really fun in London, because you wake up in the summer and you go to the park or yada yada yada, you go back to the pub and whatever. But when it's winter time and you go out and you wake up and it's grey and you've got work the next day and you hate your job and your rent's too much, you need to make more of a conscious effort to make yourself feel better. And there will be way more of a reaction to your body when you don't have the sun, when you have dark times in London. So I think it's really important to do the wellness at this part of the year,
Since you started Grooves, what has been the sort of reception like? Are there any common things that are coming from people? How have people received it?
The feedback we've got from a lot of our events when we first started was like it was just a lot of our friends coming together, which is initially why we started it, you know, like just to bring everyone back together. Quite nice now that not happening at every event, and it's nice to hear people being like, I didn't actually know a lot of people at the event, and I'm like, oh wow, people actually wanted to come, not because they felt like they had to, because they actually wanted to do it.
I think the easy option after a night out is, you know, just to bed rot and go after like the quick dopamine, which is like doom scrolling. And like, I mean, we've all been there.
Do that? Like, I would love to know like what your daily routine is.
So I need to have like a really good routine in the morning. So I get up and I just get changed, I make my bed, and then I just go straight out. I've got a little wood near my house, and I just get a coffee and I do a walk, and I do the same lap, literally the same lap. And actually at the moment, I do the same lap, and they've closed one of the gates in the woods recently, so my like route is being disrupted, and it's not doing good.
Is it really freaking you out?
It's really not doing good.
It's really freaking you out.
I'm having to like adjust.
Yeah, I read this thing, and I saw on TikTok, but my dad does that. He goes, I read a piece. I was like, babe, I saw the same video. It was on Instagram. But apparently you should wake up. Do not go on your phone. Make the bed. That's the first thing you should do. Open the blind and get in the shower.
Yeah.
And just leave your phone out of all of those things that you're doing.
In the last 2 weeks, I was getting way more addicted to my phone. The day I woke up and I did that exact thing because I realized I was like, I'm spending too much time on my phone. I'm consuming like too much media.
Right.
I felt myself starting to like withdraw a bit from like social connection. Like I felt like I was not wanting to go out and connect with people. And I was like, why is that? And I think it's because I was just getting too in my own head, because I think the more time you spend on your phone, the more time you're like not going out.
You're not actually talking to anyone on your phone. It's not like you're messaging anyone.
No. You're just consuming.
Yeah.
If I've got some kind of like social thing that's up in front of me, you often feel like, oh God, I'm not sure I want to go. Like maybe I'm a bit, been out the night before, I'm not sleeping. You sort of feel like, but every single time I go to anything like this, whether it's, like the event that we did or one of my swim club events, or honestly just like anything, and I see someone, like even today, like going for a swim, I always just feel like so great. And it makes me think that the whole thing actually is just about creating little pockets, like areas for yourself where you can like meet people in person. Yeah. Because I think it's so different to what we've grown accustomed to, which is just doing everything through your phone.
But it's quite scary though, walking up to like an event and not knowing anyone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like having to get into a swimming costume.
I really think that the swimming and the cold water, it's all like super ancillary to the real thing, which is that people just want to have a reason to go and like meet new people and like have a chat.
Do people do that in Australia? Like the cold water stuff, or is that not really a scene?
It's not really a thing because it never gets cold.
Oh, true.
But I think in Australia it's one thing that Australia does really well, is that health and fitness is such a central part.
Everyone's so hot as well. Do you not think I'd like Australia?
That you wouldn't like it?
Yeah, I wonder here because you're the first person that said this. So we were just discussing it. Saxon thinks that I don't think I like Australia.
Well, I'm probably just projecting because of the reasons why I don't. Well, it's not that I don't like Australia. It's great, but like I don't live there, and there's a reason I don't live there. If you like living somewhere like London, the reality is that if you move to Australia, you're probably just going to feel like there's just a bit missing, and whether that's like a bit of chaos,
culture.
Australia's like a really generally very ordered society, and it's often felt to me a bit kind of closed off. I think the experience of a lot of Brits when they go over, like, I think the typical thing is people go over to Sydney. Often what happens is people end up just hanging out with other Brits, and Australians do that. Australians do that over here as well, and it's really common both ways. And from what I've heard is it's quite it's quite hard to actually break into the culture, and I would have found that myself.
How did you break into the day?
Well, I was lucky because I moved to the UK and went to uni in Cardiff. That was my like entry point, and so I never like had to go to like the Australian kind of community.
Yeah, but community centre.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I Clapham. The community centre, the Swan.
Yeah, the Swan. When's the Swan?
I have. Yeah, I was there on Halloween.
Fun.
Have you been?
No. Probably.
I'm not sure. I had the most British cultural experience, which was I was stood outside the Swan in the queue on Halloween for about an hour and a half, and it was hissing down.
That is the epitome of that British Halloween in London.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time, but I've always got the excuse that I can enjoy a novelty experience like that.
You could be like, I'm doing it for the culture.
Yeah. But if it's like really
This isn't weird.
if it's really grim and horrible,
Yeah.
like everyone else will be like, oh, I don't really fancy it. I'll be like, yes, this is great. Like inject it into my veins. Like,
I lived with Australians on my ski season and I fucking loved them all. The things that they talk about from home would be like a novelty to me.
yeah.
Them just being like, oh, fucking avocado, would be like, sorry, I'm not going to do it. But one of my friends was talking about like the price of an avocado and like the size of an avocado.
Well,
That's a really bad
niche
example.
chat.
Yeah, the niche
No, it's
chat.
really niche chat.
That's niche chat.
But I can see it.
Yeah, can you see? Yeah.
I think what the main difference is, and the reason why I live here rather than Australia is, in general, in a big city like London, you have more people who actively want to meet new people and make new friends. And that,
Yeah.
for me, is just my basic mindset in life is, if I ever catch myself feeling like closed-minded and not wanting to meet new people, I always have to evaluate why is that.
Look and turn.
Like
Yeah.
what's going on that means that I don't want to do that, and it's always something to do with me. Which, for example, like I'm just something's bothering me. I'm feeling like anxious about something, or you know, I'm
So
not.
real.
Yeah, you know, and so I find it really jarring in Australia in general. It doesn't feel like a place where people, pontificating my.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a place where people like really want to be sort of like, like want to be doing that. And it's probably unfair, but you know, I might be emphasizing it a bit much because this is the feeling in Perth, and like anyone from Perth would tell you the same thing. Perth is just a very interesting place. It's basically like the Texas of Australia. So we didn't even want to join. At the start we didn't even want to be part of Australia. You have this like really small isolated place, a lot of money like sloshing around, and it just creates all the drama that you would expect.
Oh, because of the cash.
Like imagine like if Chelsea was the size of like a city, right? And everyone knew everyone, and everyone's in everyone's business. So I think when I'm talking about Australia, like I'm definitely projecting a lot of things I don't like about Perth onto the culture in general, and that's really unfair.
They're making a made in Chelsea-ish thing for a ski season in Valdezay.
Again, can see it. I told you that I was there. I was there in March this year.
Are you going to come back? Are you going out this year?
I don't have any plans currently. I'd like to.
Well, we could do an event.
That'd be fun.
I'm gonna go and do an event hopefully in March.
Yeah, but I can see that in Valdez because I was chatting to a lot of like seasonaires, and I was like, your life is just. I mean,
I could see you doing a season, but actually, I'll do.
I think I wouldn't if. I think I'd go off the rails. No, I think I'd go off the rails.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. I think I'd go off the rails. I think in life you have to know like what the things that you
know your
can't
limitations.
do, right?
One of the reasons why why I came back from my first season after we lost Jack, and I had just gone completely doolally. But the only thing that made me feel good was the skiing, because it was physical exercise, and I think it is like. You need it in life, or else you will just fly off the rails.
Yeah.
You need to do wellness. Like I'm realizing at the time that it is wellness.
Yeah.
It's like movement. My dad's like, movement is medicine. And I was like, shut up. But it's so true.
It's so true. What's actually really annoying about that is like you hear it's so cliche. Like all these things are cliches. So like, yeah, movement is medicine, or you know, la la la. But then I think you do actually realise at a certain point that's all true, and it's really annoying, right?
Like, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. Actually, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you about. Summer festivals in the UK. You sent me a couple of, I would describe as like quite niche festivals.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realise the more time that I spend here that the sort of UK festival thing is a lot more expansive than I probably initially realised. Like it's not just like Glastonbury and these, like there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the whole like Live Nation big festivals that have been brought out, like Reading Festival, Leeds, Glastonbury, yada yada yada. But then you have the like grassroots small festivals, which are way more popular now with young people because they are a bit cheaper and B are a bit more personal. And like maybe I'm not going to watch Billie Eilish, and like I'm going to see a fun DJ that I maybe even know, or like maybe that you really have been following for years is playing at a festival somewhere. My parents have been into festivals, and like for them, like they all bring food for the night time. They all go back before they go back out in the evening, and they're like, it's the most. This sounds ridiculous. They cook a Thai green curry before they'll go raving, and it's like.
Right.
But it's about that going back to the community sense. And the festival isn't just about like chugging a beer and like. I mean, it is, but also it's about like making your like living outside for 4 days initially and like pairing it right back to like having no phones and just like everyone accepting the fact that like I'm gonna be dirty, I haven't got my mum to call, and I'm not gonna go home for 72 hours. And like I think it's actually really nice to like practice, kind of bring it back to like caveman time music, you know.
I think if you can try and strip away a lot of the additional layers that we put in the world, you know, again, it's like a lot of it is sort of digital media stuff.
Yeah.
What's quite nice about getting into really cold water, right, is that you have a real sort of caveman experience, right? Because there's no layer between you and just being freezing cold in the water. And yeah, I agree with sort of like a festival environment. Like part of the fun is that your phone's not, right, I mean, it can be part of the equation if you wanted to, but you can put it away and you're just sort of like, I love just roaming around with like a friend, and you're just like side questing. I love side questing. It's just hilarious.
You get so good, and you can actually side quest so hard at like a smooth festival.
Yeah,
you know, almost more than like Glastonbury, where it's just so big.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of personal.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between going to a festival because you want to see the particular acts, in which case you might be more attracted to like a Coldplay or like whatever. Or versus like just going because you kind of just want to go a bit feral. So I was at Glastonbury, I've been twice, but I was there not this year, year before. And I basically...
Do you like it?
I mean, I had the best time, but the reason I had the best time is I just don't care about any big act. I just don't like standing in like massive crowds to watch like musicians play. Like I want to be part of the experience, right? And so I was just bombing it around like by myself for like most of it, and but like having the best time ever.
You're having the best.
Yeah, and like you just meet like the people who you meet, like if you go Southeast Corner at say like if you go Southeast Corner at about like 6 p.m, the people who you meet there are like, they guaranteed just
it's gonna be a good
whack jobs, right? Like, and they're just gonna be hilarious. And
I mean, even the healing fields.
Did you go this year?
I went I was nannying
at Glastonbury.
What? I was a Glastonbury nanny. And me and this like 2.5-year-old, the best kid ever, by the way. Me and her, I strapped her to my back in like a baby growth, and we were just roaming around Glastonbury for like basically 2 weeks because we were there on the build.
That sounds
It was unreal.
Absolutely hilarious.
I was like, don't touch that.
Did you go to festivals when you were really young? Did your
No,
parents take you along?
they didn't take me. That was like their time to shine, and I actually really respect that. I'm not taking my kids.
Yeah.
Unless like I have to, but if it's for a weekend, they can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mummy's having a time.
Yeah, I think that's...
Would you?
Bit of balance, I think.
Yeah.
Probably to some things, probably not to others.
I think bring them to music events, like definitely.
Yeah.
But also, like, you have to be careful about what they're exposed to.
Yeah. Little kids.
Should I get involved?
I always loved it because this is again another thing that I would never have come across when I was at Oz. Be at Glastonbury and you're there, like, somewhere random, and then you look to your right and it's the same situation, like something like a 2-year-old on someone's shoulders, and you're like, and they're just like having a time.
We're like, shit.
It's so different to my experience of growing up. I always wonder people who, because I've got some friends who went to Glastonbury all through there when they were kids. They went every single year.
That's the place to do it if you want to bring a kid to a festival.
I think so. Yeah. But I'm always like, how do you see the world? Like, how is your idea of the world? It must be so different to mine. I don't know. It just feels like
they're so much lower, like physically.
Yeah.
So like Nancy would be like, "What's that?" She'd be like, she speaks French mainly. She was like, "Je coûte," and I was like, and then we'd like crawl through a bush, and there'd be like a fairy kingdom that she's found.
Yeah.
And no one else would have found that, but because it was like made for small people. I love that you're doing this though.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the second one now, but the idea is go for a swim with people like yourself who are just doing interesting things, or it doesn't even need to be like wellness adjacent. I'm not really about wellness. It's not really what it's about. It's people doing sort of interesting stuff in London. Friends, like I had the twins who were doing their short film.
Love that.
Just anyone who would be up for a chat, really.
Yeah. And then maybe you get like a celeb on.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, part of the idea is when I started the swim club, I was meeting all these new people, and I just realised there are so many people doing so many interesting things that you've never heard of before in your life. And actually, the other one is other people who run swim clubs in London.
Yeah.
And I've got to know them, and it's been so nice because everyone's so like supportive of everyone, and I think I'll probably chat to them next.
Yeah.
But I'm just so fascinated by like the things that people decide to get up to in their life and like spend their energy, because like running groups good is like a lot goes into it. So you've made that decision to do something that's really unique. I mean, I've never come across anything like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting to sort of understand why people start these things personally is a lot more interesting than talking to a movie star. Of course, their stories are interesting too, but I quite like trying to bring it back. I think everyone has got like just a really interesting story, and I don't like how I think social media and media in general really puts a lot of focus onto certain types of achievement and success. When everything's really interesting.
And not just like what album you made or like not album but like
or whatever
what you wore to the Vanity Fair ball. It's like there are smaller achievements, but they still should be represented and appreciated.
And I think it actually feeds back into that picture of bringing people genuinely back together, where if you sit down on the tube and rather than looking at the person opposite you and you just project and think, they've probably just got some dead end thing and they're not doing anything, like who are they, I don't really care. They might have like some fascinating story, they might be working on some really interesting side project or whatever.
Just having an open mindset to everyone. I think like even on the bus today, I had my headphones and then this woman was just playing Bob Marley out of a speaker. I have a little shopping trolley. I was like, I would put my headphones on because I didn't. I've now had such a nice experience. Everyone on the bus listening to Bob Marley. And it's about not closing yourself off physically and emotionally to everyone. Like having an open mind, I think, is the most important.
That's absolutely it. So that's what I'm trying to do with this.
I think you're doing so well. It's such a great concept.
Thank you, and thanks for being on. Shout out to 400 Rabbits at the Brockwell Lido.
They gave us
they gave us water bottles. Out of the charity of their we didn't even ask for them, didn't even order them.
I thought you might have ordered them.
Imagine that, pre-called, I was like, we're gonna need water bottles.
We're gonna need water bottles on the site. It's part of my rider.
So thank you to 400 Rabbits, thank you to Brockwell Lido for having us for a really nice swim, and obviously thank you to Rosie for having a chat, and I'll see you on the next one.